persona que va a defender la Constitución.
I think that we should expect and hold our elected officials accountable because they're there to represent. People are not there for us. We're there for people. We work for people. I always tell people I work for you.
Well, we are here standing with our brothers and sisters from the taxi industry, those who move our city of New York.
The city has failed, and this is my stand. And it's not the first time that
that we should expect and hold our elected officials accountable because they're there to represent. People are not there for us. We're there for people. We work for people. I always tell people I work for you.
Everything right. You played by the rules. You worked your heart out. You trusted the city of New York. When the city of New York tells you something, you trusted us, and we failed you.
the city has failed, and this is my stand. And it's not the first time.
All of you did everything right. You played by the rules. You worked your heart out. You trusted the city of New York. When the city of New York tells you something, you trusted us, and we failed you.
Congresista y se envuelve tanto en la cosa social que es importante, pero ¿qué cosa social tú estás volviendo para ayudar a tu distrito y ayudar a tu gente hispana y dominicana? Y ellos no están haciendo eso y se les ve todito, ellos están igualitos. Si tú miras el récord de ellos, tú tienes que mirar el récord de cada uno de ellos y qué ellos están haciendo para su distrito. Y ese
of government, when you're in charge of every branch of government, it's very hard to find a oversight committee that's going to actually look into why your decision was made to put all these folks into nursing homes. I know a lot of people are upset.
Yep.
So,
now, Sammy, I got to tell you, I'm sorry. So the thing is, they have been trying. They did hearings and on the New York State Senate committees, and I think it was, it was all wishy-washy. I call it. They did make believe they were doing an investigation. They didn't use their subpoena powers. That's been also criticized of them. But also the Department of Justice actually opened up an inquiry into 5 states that have the similar situation like here, like Como. And that's still ongoing. We don't know that's going to go anywhere. But again, I went up to Fernando. Again, I don't want to just knock him, but I went up to Fernando Cabrera. I said, look, it's not your jurisdiction. It's actually New York State. I know it's their jurisdiction. But I asked him, as a city council for my area, my family's been in this area 30-something years. I asked him to stand side by side with me. Speak up. Sammy, I would ask you the same thing. As a candidate, or if you win, will you stand up? And I say, Sammy, what happened to your father? My grandmother, I'm going to visit her tomorrow through a window. My grandmother's deteriorating. I tell you, Sammy, I have an event. You came to an event. Guys, I need you to understand. Sammy came to an event not only because of his father or because of my grandmother, but because he feels for the community. Sammy, if I tell you in the future you're not going to be a big shot, I don't have time for you, Henry. I can't. I'm the borough president. I mean, this is your jurisdiction. Is under the Bronx. What do you think?
Well, I want to tell you, most likely I'll be there. And I tell you, most likely, obviously, I can't contemplate the future, but I'm going to tell you, you have one, and I'll tell you for sure I'm going to be there. Listen. This is something that it transcends politics. And what's happening Henry, is that they politicize this. And with Cuomo's decision, what the parties decided is that we're going to make this a Democrat against Republican rather than a right versus wrong type of thing. So you see a lot of Republicans, very upset that this happened. And you see a lot of Democrats, even though quiet, even though they tell me behind the scenes that they were a little, not a little, they're very upset at the decision that was made because they love.
Este no es el momento para esto. El país está pasando por uno fuerte. And going back to English, so, we need to get straight. The Latino vote's supposed to be one of the biggest votes for 2020. Florida is going to be a key state for any president to win. And that's one that I have to say. You out there in California, you can tell me, Edwin, how you feel about the Latino vote and the Asian vote too, which is pretty strong in your area too, right?
Right. Yeah. The whole minority vote. I think it all boils down to